Well, thank you, Arabelle, for that very kind introduction. Whatever success I had as governor really had to do with the fact I had a lot of very good people that worked with me. Arabelle, Dave Bender, several others. So it's always good to be with them, and it's good to be involved in an issue that we all care about again, too. Now, I'm not going to talk about the report from the Global. You don't want to hear about a report. I want to talk a little bit about just my experience as governor. And say, first of all, as governor, I saw firsthand the important role that immigrants play in the state of Illinois. Now, our primary topic today is the economy. And there is no doubt in my mind that the immigrant community brought a vitality to the Illinois economy. Often when I would be out and about and visiting the various communities, you would meet with recent immigrants, and you could see the enthusiasm to move ahead, to be successful, to work, to raise a family. All those things that are vital, I believe, to having a strong economy here in the state of Illinois. Now, most of you know the statistics. The immigrant community is a great purchasing power of our economy. The Hispanic community alone, I think in 2009, had a purchase amount of over $40 billion. The Asian community, over $22 billion. Now, we're in the midst of a recession. This is a time we need to move our economy. And I can't think of any better way to move this economy than to finally deal with comprehensive immigration reform. Here in Illinois, we know, again, looking at the numbers, that immigrants, by 42% of the new homeowners from 2000 to 2005 were immigrants. And I think we all know how important it is to get the home market moving if we want to move our economy. The other statistic that I think is crucial, and this is nationwide, immigrants are more likely to start businesses than non-immigrants. And one thing I learned as governor, it's not going to be the titans of industry and their companies that are going to bring us out of this economic malaise we're in. It's going to be small businesses. We need more small businesses because that's where most of the jobs are going to come from. So for just a purely selfish reason, all Illinoisans, all Americans should be demanding comprehensive immigration reform now. There's another very practical reason we need reform. There is approximately, estimated, 12 million undocumented people in this country who are in limbo, who are at risk for trying to find a job and being part of the American dream. Now, some have said, well, let's deport them. Well, never in the history of the world, no matter how ruthless the dictator has been, have you moved 12 million people out of one country into another. And I don't think America wants to have that distinction. It is impractical to think that we can deport 12 million people. We have to face reality. We have to deal with those 12 million people. To deport would cost billions and billions of dollars in taxes that we don't have. And it would cost trillions of dollars to our economy that we cannot afford to lose. So for all kinds of reasons, it's not practical. We have to deal realistically now, not later, with the undocumented millions that are in this nation. Also, statistics have shown, again, in '86 when we dealt with the issue, but we didn't, unfortunately, deal with it comprehensively, that still after we dealt with those who were here undocumented, they became even more productive citizens once their legality was resolved. So again, from an purely economic point of view, there is good reason why we need to move ahead. But there's really a more important reason, and I know we're here to talk about the economy, but really there's a more important reason why we need comprehensive immigration reform. This is America. This is a nation that was built on immigrants. This is what sets us aside from the rest of the world. If we had had the current immigration policy in place for the last 200 years, most of us, including me, would not be here. My great-grandfather, my namesake, James Edgar, when he was a teenager, came over without any money from England, without any immigration papers, anything. No promise of a job. He came to Central Illinois, got a job, bought some farmland, raised a family, became a very successful businessman in East Central Illinois. He did that because it was America. You had that opportunity. And America welcomed immigrants, as we should always welcome immigrants. I'm at the University of Illinois now, and I see a lot of students come through there. There is no doubt some of the best and brightest are those who come from other countries. And unfortunately, we're beginning to see fewer and fewer of those because of our immigration policy and because of the attitude many in other nations think we have here in America about immigration. We can't let what has made America great, the fact that every generation we have an influx of new people with new enthusiasm, with new ideas, determined to continue to develop this melting pot that we call America. We're at risk, if we don't deal with immigration reform, of losing that which has made us the greatest nation this world has ever known. We're at risk of losing that as we move forward with this current attitude, at best, just putting your head in the sand and hoping the problem will go away. We need to face it now. Now, I know I'm preaching to the choir, though I am preaching a little bit to the news media too. This isn't going to happen, unfortunately. We all know it should, but it won't. Because anytime you try to bring about change, it's difficult. And there's fears out there. And as a former elected official, I can tell you, you have to respond to public opinion. And right now, the most vocal part of public opinion is not on our side. While I think the vast majority of Americans understand, unfortunately, as too often, they don't speak up. So we need to get the message out. You, particularly in the business community, because I think the strongest argument to most Americans is, this is not going to hurt the economy, this is going to help the economy. This is going to help get us out of the recession. This is going to help move us forward. So our children will have opportunities, regardless whether our children were born here or they came with their immigrant families. But they need to hear your message. Those of you in business, I think, have a lot to say out there and to reassure folks, and particularly the political leaders. This is an election year. That's good and bad. It's bad is that they don't want to take any chances. But it's also good. I always said, we elected officials, our hearing works a lot better during a campaign year. It's amazing how well you hear things. And it sticks with you after the election. So don't let this opportunity pass you by. Even if you can't get them to commit, make sure you give them an earful. Because I think it will have an impact. And we have to start today. We can't wait till after the election. I tell you, the hearing doesn't work as well. They get busy on a lot of other things. Now is when they want to hear from their constituents. Again, you may not get a commitment, but they're going to remember the intensity and the facts that you told them and the common sense it makes. So you have a role to play in making this happen. You can't rely on the titans of business. They have a role to play. But really more important is many of you here are small business people. You're the folks that make this economy go. You're the one who's going to bring us out of recession. You're the one who's going to continue to make Illinois and America a place we're proud to call our home. Thank you very much.